Hello, in this video we're going to talk about modulus. Modulus is a really great operator which essentially generates the remainder when we perform long division. I always think that students should learn modulus when they're first learning long division. And so don't be intimidated by it. It's pretty straightforward. If you can do long division, you can do modulus. Let me show you. 10 divided by 3, we learned, would be 3 remainder 1. Right? Because 3 goes into 10 3 times and there's 1 left over. So if I go 10 mod 3, it's going to give me the remainder of 1. That's all modulus generates. Modulus generates the remainder after we perform long division. So, for example, if I had 24 mod 6, well, let's start with 24 divided by 6, which is going to give me 4 remainder 0. So 24 mod 6 is going to give me 0, because that's how much is left over. 6 goes into 24 4 times, with 0 left over. Now, a situation that sometimes will cause a little confusion is if I reverse 24 and 6. So let's look at what 6 divided by 24 is. Well, 24 goes into 6 0 times, and there's 6 left over. So 6 mod 24 is equal to 6. What about 0 divided by 10? So 10 goes into 0 0 times, and there's 0 left over, so 0 remainder 0. So 0 mod 10 is equal to 0. And as a rule, 0 mod anything equals 0. Well, what about if we reverse that? 10 mod 0. Or 10 divided, let's start with 10 divided by 0. Well, we can't divide by 0. So that is considered undefined. And that actually generates a problem in a program. We'll talk about that a little later. So the thing is, in order to do modulus, you have to actually perform division. So if we try and mod by 0, it's undefined. So anything mod 0 is undefined. And that's all modulus is. So we can make a quick couple examples. Let's say x is equal to, I don't know, 27 mod 6. So we can figure out that 6 goes into 27 4 times, 24, and then there's 3 left over. So if I print x, it's going to generate a value of 3. And let's switch that around. Let's go, say, 6 mod 27. So 27 goes into 6 0 times, 6 left over. So let's test this. 6 mod 0, we get an error. Integer division or modulus by 0. It actually tells me what that problem is. So watch for that. So like I said, this is useful for a lot of things in mathematics. And I'm going to show you one pattern that occurs. And this is a good one to keep in the back of your head. And I said mathematics as well as computer science. So what I've done is I've written a little segment of code here which you might not fully understand, but I'll explain it to you. What I do is I declare and initialize val to 0. And this is called a loop structure. This is a loop that will run from 0 to 99. And then what I do is I take the val and I mod it by 2. So I'm always modding by 2. And then I print out the result. And store it in x. And then I increment val by 1. So what am I doing? This is, I've told you what each line does. Essentially, I am modding the numbers from 0 to 99 by 2 and printing out the result. So let's do this and watch for a pattern. Can you see the pattern there? Because it's generating the remainder, it's only ever going to give me from 0 to 1 less than that value. So it goes 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. So what modulus is really useful for is modulus is really useful for cycling through a pattern. So if you're playing a two-player game, you can keep track of whose turn it is using modulus. In fact, you could do that as well using a three-person game. If I go on modulus by 3, I'm going to get 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. And sure enough, there's that pattern. The other really useful application for modulus is when we mod by 2, it actually will tell me if the number is odd or even. Because notice, if it's an even number, it generates 0 because there's no remainder, and if it's an odd number, it generates 1. So modulus is really useful for 3 things at this stage. Modulus is useful for 1. Telling if a number is odd or even. We mod it by 2. And check 0 or 1. Now that can be extended. It's the same thing, but telling if a number is a factor of another number, right? Because if A mod B is equal to 0, then B is a factor of A. And finally, cycling through turns in a multiplayer game. So I hope this video helped, and as always, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask.